have news for you, Ed Baldwin. You are just a pathetic old man who doesn't know when to call it a day.
Hello and good evening. For All Mankind, Season 4, Episode 6, Leningrad is over, and it has been since 2023. But here in 2025 on Live Long and Podcast, we're just getting started. Whether you're joining us live on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, or catching the audio versions wherever you get your podcasts, our mission to watch every episode of For All Mankind continues. One Soviet power struggle, one black market hustle, and one fractured colony at a time. Now, here's the guy who's known for that cinnamon mouth ass taste. I'm your host, Dave Mader. And we once again have our top tier panel here to break it all down. And a few of us are missing. But coming in first, she loved the flair of Ilya's underground bar and the 90210 style of chaos of Happy Valley's Black Market. Even in the asteroid politics felt a little too dry. It's our goth queen herself. It's Heather Narduzzi.
Greetings.
Greetings. The Vulcan as well, it seems.
Goth Vulcan, they're almost the same thing.
Yes, come right in here. We're glad to have you with us. Okay, one more. Maybe we can hear him. Who knows? But on that note, he saw promise in the bold asteroid to Earth plan, and he was wary of the soap opera undertones in Aleida and Margo's reunion, wondering if For All Mankind is drifting towards melodrama. It's Adam Woodward.
Hey guys, can you hear me now?
Yes. It was going to be a test. I thought I thought there was at least an 80% chance we wouldn't be able to hear you.
80%. That's great. Yeah. I've been really quite good with I figured out my problem. We're good.
Okay. There you go. It's like teach a man to fish, he will eat forever or something. Welcome, Adam. Coming in next, he rolled his eyes at Ed Baldwin, inciting a strike like a teen drama subplot, but he was all in on the gritty realism of Miles muscling into the black market with North Korean help. It's Jody Simpson.
Hello, Dave. I'm currently residing over our chat. There has been some nasty things said in chat already, so
already
hammer has already
we're only just got into this, so
we're 3 minutes in and I'm already ban hammering.
All right, well, I'll leave that to you, Jody. I trust you can handle all of those.
I can do it, Dave.
Those troublemakers. All right, and rounding out our panel tonight, he locked onto the economics, Aleida's $2 trillion cost versus the $20 trillion payoff. Miles seizing the market, and Ed weaponizing pay changes. For him, the episode exposed the moral fault lines: who gets paid, who gets silenced, and who gets sacrificed. It's Jeff Mader.
22 trillion and strike.
Well, we're going to be breaking this all down. Kevin Millard, unable to be with us tonight, unfortunately, as he is picking up his son from school through a snowstorm. But we are. I miss Kevin. Sure. Yeah. I'll see him tomorrow night, so it will be okay. But
I'll see him tomorrow night too. All right.
Yeah.
Let's move on then, Dave.
Yeah. So we're talking about the 36th episode overall of For All Mankind, titled Leningrad. that aired exactly 2 years ago today, December 15th, 2023. Written by Eric Phillips and directed by Sylvain White. And this one is all about the Mars 7 summit in the Soviet Union. As I've mentioned, there's a lot here about the Aleida and Margo reunion, I think being the most emotional, dramatic thing in the episode. And then a lot with Miles, like pushing out Ilya and like kind of like a little bit of a mobster story here.
Can I make a comment about this episode?
Yeah.
I felt like I was watching an episode of Oz.
Right.
Yes.
Throughout this whole episode.
Like the whole thing?
The whole thing. The whole thing. It was because in Oz, it wasn't just about prison. It was also about the politics that was going on a lot with like the warden and the mayor and the governor would come. And the whole episode, I'm like, is this Oz? Is someone about to get killed? Like, is someone like,
did someone get killed? I can't remember. No, right?
No, but people got choked. People got near killed.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Well, I liked Oz most of the time. So maybe that's not the worst comparison, although it's not a show about space by any means. What's the third plot line? Ed and the strike and him getting drunk mostly in the bar.
Also reminiscent though of Oz, where Saeed does the whole riot in the first season. It's kind of like you can feel the tension, you can feel it brewing, you can feel all those things. I don't know. I got a lot of the same vibes from watching that show. You know,
interesting. Yeah, I don't know if anyone else watched Oz, you and I, Jeff. So I don't know if
I watched some of it.
Yeah, but it was for the time it was pretty crazy and revolutionary. And
but I watched The Godfather, and we were like, it could be that too.
Yeah, it could be The Godfather, Goodfellas, a lot of like different Tony Soprano, whatever story you want to go for. What's that, Heather?
Goodfellas is my favorite. So
me too. I could watch it. That's my answer when they say what, like, if you had to be on like a deserted island with like one movie, I would pick that movie.
I don't know if I'd pick that movie, but top 10 anyway.
What's your movie, Jody?
If I had to pick one movie to watch over and over
forever, you can never watch anything else.
Star Trek 6.
Interesting.
I never get tired of that movie.
Yeah,
I love it.
But I don't know if but there's something about like a Goodfellas, all the songs in it for me, and like
I'm not a big song guy though.
All right, well, that makes sense. All right, well,
I don't like the musicals, Dave.
Oh, okay. So
it's not a musical.
No.
Goodfellas the musical. We need to see it made now.
Hey,
I think I would watch
it.
Just like make a song. Like I've always dreamed of becoming a gangster since I was 5 years old. But anyway, let's talk about this episode.
Here to make you laugh.
Leningrad. Okay, Adam, I'm most curious about your take on this episode. If it was pulling you in, or if it was boring you. Which one was it?
I loved this episode.
Loved it. Okay.
Yeah, this was a good episode.
And what did you have a favorite part?
I can tell you my least favorite part is Miles. I would like him to go the airlock. I'd like but sorry, Heather, but I would. He's not my favorite. I like that the Margo thing finally came out. That's been bothering me. Mm-hmm. And Ed is just going to find a way to stick around that space station. He ain't leaving.
You think he'd want to go back to Earth, but
no, he doesn't want to go back to Earth. He's going to go look after a grandchild. He has no interest in that.
Don't worry, the grandchild's coming to him.
The grandchild's coming. Right. He might want to go.
He might want to leave, or at least somewhere else. But he's making himself busy. He knows all about stills on carriers, MASH units, whatever else he was listed off. He's pretty busy over there. And I guess everything to do with the economics, a large emphasis on ROI in this Leningrad conference. Like, sure, we could make all this money in 20 years, but that doesn't solve political ambition today. 40 years. Yeah. 40 years.
Yeah, that was something. But I did like the Aleida Margo reunion, by the way. Yeah, as much as you probably would think I didn't, but I did like it.
How could you not be moved by it? Like especially whoever, like, I don't know the actress who plays Aleida, but she killed.
You want me to answer that question?
That was not what I expected out of that reaction with her. So
what's her name, Jody?
Coral Pena.
Coral Pena. Yeah, she was like, I know we've been up and down with Aleida at times as a character and what she's doing, and sometimes
this season she's coming a long way. I think I agree with Jeff. She didn't need to show up until probably last season.
Right. Like, well, at least all her best stuff started
I
last
didn't know
season.
her. I didn't need to know her immigrant backstory. I guess is probably the biggest part of this. And I'm not trying to be insensitive about it.
No,
I
I
just
think
don't
they were
think
trying
it
to go
plays
somewhere
into
with
any
that
point
game.
at all.
I think
What's
they were
that?
going to try to go somewhere with that in the beginning,
you
and they
think
just
so?
ran out of.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, like
It just
what
doesn't seem like it's needed at all.
I don't know if they had fully figured out the idea for Aleida as a character until maybe even after season 1 was over. And
usually shows like this have like kind of like a main plot point kind of thing with the characters and stuff. Like they have what's referred to as a character Bible. So usually they have like something like that says kind of where it's going, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I just don't see the benefit of it, I guess.
They did offer a lot of backstory. I mean, they started her backstory when she was 7 years old.
Yeah, just really
and then
little.
She didn't have any importance to the plot until she was well into her teens, and then it was only a minor part. So I don't disagree that they could have brought her in later, but I also I think there's something to the fact that they were maybe going to do something different with her, and then just kind of drop that thread.
Yeah, and I think to back up what Heather's saying too is like isn't the scene here with Aleida and Margo like all of 4 seasons of everything really culminating here? And you know how like if you think about like the relationship these two have had, like it's not mother-daughter, it's more mentor-pupil or whatever, or you know, and becoming more equals here in this moment here. But I think like that just emotional relief you get from Aleida here when she's so happy to see her before she's like, now I'm friggin' pissed at you. How could you do that? I'm so betrayed. How could you do all these things? And then this common thread they have beyond all that they're obsessive compulsive engineers who have to work the problem, who have to figure it out, who are dedicated to, I don't know, like just I think not even like sometimes it's all about for all mankind, it's all about the advancement of the human race, but I think it's just like they're like I think Margo says in the episode, my drug isn't power, my drug is like what's her word she uses, like it's
I don't know, but she was like
problem solving.
Power is clearly her drug.
Well, that's what Irina says, you know, but I feel like Margo gives a different answer. She says my drug is more like solving problems, I guess.
Irina's correct.
Irina's correct.
Because if it was just solving problems, then she would be fine to be behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't care. She wanted the whole point at the end of the episode.
She wanted to run it.
She wants to be the face. She wants the notoriety. She wants the credit.
Not only, but it was that important that she had to actually expose herself to the world. That's how important it is.
Which Irina tries to talk her out of. She's like, why would you want to do this?
Absolutely. She tries to talk her out of it.
Which is smart.
But Margo made that very clear when she took away the decision making of the astronauts that are going to space, like whatever season that was.
Right.
Like she wanted it away
from Molly.
It was all about power. It had nothing to do with exploration.
Mm-hmm. It was the committee, but you know.
But the committee was her.
Like, right. Margo is I think a complex character that I think both things are kind of true. I think she's addicted to both things, you know.
I think she is still a scientist and she's still who she wants, an engineer. But you know, it's at the end of the day, I think power is.
And this whole episode's about demonstrating that she's not effective just being behind the scenes. She has to be working directly with her counterpart.
Well, no, she convinces everybody that that's not actually true. We don't have any case that would prove that.
Like, I guess the idea is that they have no one else in the Russian system that would be able to go into a hotel room with Aleida and work out this like complex scientific engineering challenge in one night. It's just not possible, right? It has to be tonight, and it has to be here. It has to be these two women who do it, right? Like that's what the episode is trying to tell us. So
it's pretty crazy with her character that she started off. She was the pupil to Werner von Braun.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Nazi rocket
collaborator, at least.
The guy who defected.
Right. The guy who defected. Yes, there's a lot of parallels with Werner von Braun.
Well, she knew about his defection. She didn't know about all of his like complicity in World War II necessarily.
Well, she learned it because she had to do the exact same thing when she's in Russia.
It's crazy that she ended up on the Russian side of things.
Yeah.
And basically became their Werner von Braun, and now, you know,
only without all the genocide.
Right? Yeah,
without the genocide, but
fine.
Right, but still the questionable morals. But they're not apples to apples. I think they are different, for sure. But it's not like did Margot betray her country? The short answer is yes. Did she do it for good reasons? Debatable. Did she have choice? And that's the thing what Aleida says. You had a choice. You had multiple choices, and you always chose the wrong one. And I think that's the thing.
You weren't there.
Well, that's the whole thing. That's what Werner said. Werner's like, you weren't there. You didn't sure, I knew about the bodies, but what was I going to do? I had to run a rocket program. What do you want? So it's
they were going to kill Sergei or whatever his name was.
Right. Yeah. And that's why she had no choice. And she never gave them dangerous information. Only she's like, you gave them the nuclear reactor engine, which then they screwed up. They pushed too hard. Then they basically got 3 people killed. Margot is directly indirectly responsible for what happened there. So she's definitely not innocent, but maybe not Werner level criminal or anything.
No,
but
that's a different level of depravity. But
right, yeah. Anyway, we can jump into the shots if everyone has.
There's basically 4 scenes, and then.
Yeah, it shouldn't take too long.
That's actually all it is.
It's a pretty fast one in some ways. So let's we begin here.
When I was watching it though.
In the city of Leningrad, beautiful city.
Which is St. Petersburg, right?
Yes.
Is that same place, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Was it renamed St. Petersburg after the fall of the Soviet Union? Is that
it was St. Petersburg? Then it became Leningrad during the Soviet days. Now it's St. Petersburg again.
Okay, but in this timeline, the Soviet Union endures, so therefore not been renamed. So we see here at the conference, the M7, all the different nations showing up in their limousines.
In their Mercedes black cars.
Yeah,
not sure a limo.
Their airport. Yeah,
these don't even have tint.
They're 90s appropriate. They do like 90s cars.
This is 2003.
I know. That's
right. Oh no, these are appropriate cars. I just mean, not really limousines. Not
anyway. So the conference, the dignitaries are arriving. We see Eli showing up. We see Margo in her little bunker, looking at the different closed caption.
She's
cameras.
running the same OS as Helios. That's so weird.
I don't know.
I guess Helios does all the Russian.
It was a technology swap.
Now.
Maybe.
Maybe.
So Margo, Spy Master Margo on the work. She sees her counterpart
crashes you.
No. Eli comes in.
See that? She's trying to figure out who's in the bucket hat there.
Yeah.
Maybe
who's in the bucket hat?
It's Aleida.
No, Aleda's not there yet. Aleida comes in the next car.
Aleida comes in the next car.
Because we see
that's the Americans, right?
Yeah, we see the Helios flag come up here. Now, this episode kind of implies that Margo doesn't know that Aleida's coming to this conference, or not for sure. And I don't know what Margo doesn't know.
I got the impression she did know,
or she suspected it could be the case, maybe. So we see that the Helios not a country, but they're treated almost as such here at the conference. And we see Aleida, who is the representative for Helios, comes out here, and but Margo doesn't quite get a shot of her face here. She can't be 100% sure it's Aleida. So that's kind of teased here inside the conference, which is a very nice hotel meeting room of some kind here in the Soviet Union.
So it's kind of funny here how Aleida gets the kids' table.
Yeah, there's 2 smaller tables. So I guess the countries all get their own seats in this U table, but then Helios gets kind of
it's M7, right? So there's 7 seats around that U,
and
then there's 2 other tables.
Yeah, I think those are the presentation ones.
Well, one's Helios. I don't know what
talks when she's at that one,
and I feel like one's the stenographer or something. But anyway,
or maybe that's the official drafting table or something. Who knows?
The remember, Canada's represented by the ESA, so that's fun.
We did the right thing and joined the Europeans.
Yeah. So we see the cameras here, and we see Aleida, or Margo rather, is just trying to get a shot of her old pupil, Aleida, her protege.
Yeah, see, this is why I don't think she was surprised, because when she sees Aleida on the camera, she just she doesn't really react. She just it's
kind of a neutral reaction, almost. I'm not sure what to exactly read into it.
But it's also Margo, so
yeah,
I guess.
I think it's kind of oh, look, Aleida, look at her. She's a big shot now, kind of thing. Maybe a bit of pride, perhaps. But just then Irina, who's on the earpiece and can talk to Margo, which becomes an ongoing gag in this episode. She's like, Margo, you paying attention? Don't be staring at it later. We gotta go here. I need you to feed me science information. To which she says, yes, Irina, of course. Of course, because this is in Soviet Union, the USSR is chairing the meeting. So Irina is the chair of the meeting and says, we're all here to talk about this big Goldilocks asteroid. Take your seats. Everyone get their different headsets on for the translation systems, including Aleida, for this board meeting.
Well, she's not a world leader, so I guess maybe she has to sit at the non-world leaders table.
I guess so, because they're not the part. Of course, Helios is not.
Helios is a private company; they're not part of.
Right, they're not part of the M7, but they definitely have a seat at the table, sort of, in a sense.
Yeah, so I guess maybe that's what that is supposed to represent.
Right, and she's present. So we're getting this meeting underway. Let's talk about. Oh, yeah, there's a quorum in attendance. Robert's rules, everybody. Of governance to be observed here. Very important. Let us begin. So that is our teaser for the episode, Leningrad. I think the most important thing for me was that like Aleida and Margo are in the same place. Where is this going to go?
Yeah, I think it was a good cold open.
Yeah. As we head into our credits and post credits, we wake up here with Ed Baldwin, recently relieved of duty as the executive officer.
I love this Ed Baldwin, by the way.
Yeah, the sad Ed Baldwin who doesn't know what to do with himself.
Let's do Baldwin.
Yeah, like he's just in his quarters, not just kind of thinking what to do. He makes his bed all, fancy Naval Academy style. He's smoking weed.
I like later when he wakes up from the hangover after
he wakes up, smokes weed, then does exercise. I always exercise.
He's a crazy man.
I always exercise before smoking weed, but that's just me.
Maybe you should try.
Yeah, but are you 800 years old on Mars? Sometimes you got to do things different.
Have your wings been clipped?
Yeah, and right after you get off the exercise bike, you're like, you know what? It gets like this video message from Kelly and his grandson, who are.
I wonder why he wanted to start drinking.
Yeah,
he's like, shit, Kelly's on her way.
Yeah, pour me he's doing his laundry, smelling his socks. I don't know, just trying to feel, fair.
As one does, Dave. There are different levels of dirty socks, as we all know.
Of course.
Yes.
Looking, I don't know. He's just kind of bored. He's reading this book here. The book is called "The Sand Pebbles" by Richard McKenna.
Let's talk about that during Fun Facts.
We'll talk about that. Yeah, I wasn't sure what this is all about, but
I'm glad to know that this is probably real. Then
they usually they're usually intentional with the reading material that they show on the show. So I'm interested to hear what you've learned about it in Fun Facts.
Yeah.
I have a segment. We're good.
Ooh, a segment even.
It's brilliantly told, according to some critic.
Actually, it was a movie too. They made it a movie.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, Ed's pouring himself some moonshine, I guess, or whatever. He's his own, variety here. But he's like, you know what? I know that's got some kind of bar here. I'm going to go find that bar that they hang out in that I definitely know about, have known nothing about in all the years I've been up here. So he's like, he decides to leave the room. He's kind of like, hey, everybody, how's it going? I'm Mr. Popular.
He's already loaded.
Yeah, I guess he's
already loaded or close. Pretty high at this point.
Get some interesting looks from the crew.
I just love how everybody looks at him like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, exactly. Why are you still here? Maybe in some ways.
We got Ed Baldwin walking around.
Oh yeah. He's about to head down on the elevator. He's like, you know what? I'll use the ladder. Watch this.
I'm feeling great. I got tons of weed in me, tons of moonshine.
Salute in. And he's heading along, and he figures out where the bar is, the speakeasy, and knock knock. Guess who it is, Ilya? It's Ed Baldwin. And just then, Ilya's he thinks the jig is up here. He thinks that he's going to get shut down on his operation, but no, Baldwin's here for to get a drink, and the rest of the crew a little unwary of such a higher up. Or former higher up.
They're all just kind of look at him like, when does the foot drop here?
Right.
And he's just like, this still would be better if you did this.
Yeah, he gives a cheers to the Helios crew members in attendance. And yeah, he's trying the drink and cheers. And we'll come back to this, but this is like part one of this conversation.
Yeah.
With him just sitting down, getting loaded on the moonshine. As we head back to the conference in Leningrad, So this is where they start talking about how much it's going to cost to do. Their plan is they want to get this asteroid with all the iridium in it. They got to bring it to Mars. And Aleida kind of crunches the numbers here for them and says, well, it's going to cost like, we're going to have to build like 10 new spaceships and build like 25 new vehicles and
2,000 new vehicles.
Oh, 2,000. Yeah, it was like, and everyone in the conference is like, what? In particular, India.
First she just says a bunch, and then they're like, "Oh, this is kind of manageable," and then she's like, "Oh, that's just page one."
That's just page. She's like, "Is this what you're saying?" And she's like, "In part, actually, that's only part of what we want." And
then Margo's, of course, is correcting her and jacking up the numbers even more.
She's like, "Actually, those are conservative numbers. They're probably much higher than that." So. Imagine
having her talking in your ear the whole time, though. That's
there was one part where I sympathized with Irina. Like,
I'm like, oh Jesus, she won't shut up.
It was big, but anyway,
it took a while.
Yeah, I expected Irina to say, you shut the hell up when I'm talking to these people. Anyway, she's getting the info here from Margo. Margo very vocal while she's chewing away on her nuts and everything else inside the bunker.
No Tootsie Rolls in Russia.
No Tootsie Rolls.
No, some fast.
All she can get is some nuts. So anyway,
there's Tootsie Rolls.
When Aleida breaks down what the cost's going to be, all the nations are like Eli, everyone, they're just like, nope, this is a dead on arrival. There's no way we can spend that much, $2 trillion and not get the ROI. Well, they explain this later on, but the ROI won't be there for way too long for it to be worth it. So
in our timeline, Russia does have them. So in this timeline, they don't have them.
They don't have what?
The Tootsie Rolls.
Oh, you can get a Tootsie Roll in Russia?
In our timeline, yes.
But in like in the Cold War era, that was not possible. Are you saying?
Apparently not.
Okay, just making sure. So they're crunching that. Okay, so they're looking at the numbers anyway. So this scene kind of ends here with Aleida kind of taking a big drink of water here, just gulp. Not sure what she's going to do now. Like Dev may have been a little smoother with trying to sell this, but I don't know. He's not there. Anyway, so then we come to what's that guy's name? The new XO, Nelson
Palmer.
He's here. He's the new XO. Ironically, how he kind of ratted out Ed for the tremors in his hands, and now he's the XO. Jeff might be onto something that he maybe was opportunistic in telling about Ed here.
Oh, totally.
Or is it just a coincidence that he got the job? Anyway, they're discussing all the work they're going to have to do in order to pull off this asteroid project and everything else. And it's like they're going to have to work around the clock, and it's off the charts. It's like the amount of work and what they're expecting here, and the amount of time they want to do it is incredible. And he doesn't think they can pull it off, but Danielle says we're going to do it or we're going to die trying. We have to make this worth it. I came up here to prove that Mars still matters. So. Danielle, she doesn't know when to quit either. Maybe. And they're gonna give this a go. People died here. Danny died, and we have to make it worth it. Hello, kitty.
There's just like, I think my cat's taking over.
All right, back to Ed and Ilya, who are talking more about the stills and how to make the still better. He's like, I've seen all the stills in MASH units, on carriers, submarines, everywhere else. On the moon, apparently, he mentions they had stills. So, and he says it's got that. I said it at the top of the show here for about
cinnamon aftertaste,
cinnamon mouth ass taste,
cinnamon mouse ass.
It was mouse,
wasn't it? It was very gross.
I think it was mouse.
It's a cinnamon ass, and I don't know, like it's moonshine. I don't know if it.
Either way, it doesn't matter. Either way, that comment still stands. It's still bad.
It's bad. Ilya starts smelling
whether
it.
It's mouth or mouse. Who knows? Doesn't matter.
It's booze
Either
on
way,
Mars.
gross.
You take what you can get. But anyway,
exactly.
Ed's giving him all these tricks on how to make his operation better. Meanwhile, on the other side of the bar, we got Massey here talking to some of the Helios workers. Basically, she's trying to get a union going here. And some of the Helios workers, this guy in particular, he's all skeptical of that. Like it's gonna mess with my bonuses, or like sticking my neck out potentially. Them cracking down is not worth it. I'm sure these kind of conversations happen all the time when unions talk about forming or not forming. And they're trying to sell that it's going to be messy, but he's like, yeah, I'll take my chances. He's at this point, this guy is willing to go along with it. Now, by the end of the episode, not so much. He's going to eventually, when he figures out that Helios is screwing around with the bonus systems and the pay structure, he's willing to turn on this too. But initially, he's a bit of a reluctant. Anyway, Massey proving to be the labor leader that we always knew she would be, maybe. Anyway, so back to the conference in Leningrad. We got Aleida here talking to Eli. Now, remember the last time they talked, at least if they had a scene together, did Aleida like walk out on him and like he was like, you can always have your job back here at NASA and whatever, and then she was like, nope, you suck, and she quit, and he was like, what the hell was that? Looks like they've smoothed that over.
Well, she had agreed that she would come back, and then she had like a flashback and a panic attack while she was in his office. It was like, never mind, I was wrong, okay, bye.
Right. I guess that was never. I don't know if that was ever explained to Eli. I guess, but you know,
maybe not.
So, but he's cool. He's like, you're over at Helios. That's cool. Anyway, so we got Irina here talking to Margo through the earpiece and how she wants to approach them. And you know, there's one part where Margo says, like, we need to work with them and we need to see this through. Am I remembering that right? Like yes. That where Irina says, I'm glad to hear you refer to us as we, like as in Russia, as in Soviet Union, right? That Margo believes herself to be on that team, not on NASA's team or not on Helios's team or whatever. So as they're talking here, chewing on her nuts, these nuts.
Dave, you know how hard it is for me to not take that run with it? Stop saying it.
All right. They kept showing it throughout the episode. Like Margo cannot stop. Anyway, so this is where Irina and Eli are both explaining to Aleida that this is dead on arrival. This is not going to work. The ROI is not there. It's going to take too long to get the money back. Even though yes, we can make 22 trillion. 40 years is a long time to wait to get that money back. So not going to work here. But Margo, this is the part I sympathize more with Irina. Margo's like, no, we need to do this. This has to happen. This is for all mankind, etc. And I was just like, Irina's gonna send somebody in there to shoot Margo in about 2 seconds if she doesn't calm the hell down. But
I'm surprised she didn't have somebody just standing there with a gun,
right?
Just to make sure.
But ultimately, there's in the course of this conversation, Eli gets they say, well, what if it was here on Earth or what, like something like that, right? Like, what if this asteroid came to Earth? And he's like, we haven't thought about that. I don't know why no one had thought about this yet, but they said, well, could we bring the asteroid to here? And then we could start mining it right away. We wouldn't have to wait, to mine it on Mars, get that stuff, and then bring it to Earth, which is going to be very lengthy, time consuming, everything else, which raises other problems, by the way, including making sure that an asteroid doesn't hit Earth. But we'll get into that. But that maybe that's a way more practical thing. Like you may have saved this right here in this little conversation at the cocktail party on how we could potentially do this. So Margo starts thinking about it, and this is the excitement of the project, I think, like of the problem, working the problem here going along, right? So that seed is planted here. We're gonna head back to Ed, who talking more about the still, I guess. Everything else, I'll get you can drink for free, Mr. Baldwin. He's like, damn right, keep pouring it there, comrade. He's like, you must be Russian. I'll take that as a compliment. Anything else I'm forgetting from this conversation? I don't think so, right?
No.
Anyway, then a little later on, this is where Miles comes into the episode, Adam's favorite character. And he's here to work out more of his deals with those Mars obsidian rocks he's been selling for big money, which we know Ilya was not happy with in the last episode. And I think her name's Fiza. Miles is here to talk about the next scheme they got going on. But she says, "No, I can't talk to you. I am done. I have to move." And she just kind of like walks out on him very abruptly, and very without kind of explanation. And then Miles meets this guy. Anyone remember his name? It's like it's Russian. He's
Luca Brasi.
Luca Brasi, exactly. An Italian Russian he is. And he was like, "Hey man, what's going on?" And he was like, "Yeah." And then before you know it, he grabs Miles by the throat. He starts choking him, says, "You will never talk to Ilya again. You're out." Basically, he's kicking him out of the little underground black market operation completely.
Maybe he's lucky that's all he got.
Maybe so.
Why did it take 6 episodes for me to like this character?
Which character?
Miles.
You like Miles now?
Yeah, you know what?
Tortured now, Jody.
Well, I am into that, I guess, but
you sadist.
No, I just I like, well, not this particular scene, but right after this, like when he's talking to what's his name, the barkeep,
the Korean
guy. No, the barkeep guy, and
Ilya at the end where he's like,
yeah, it's like,
I am
turned into a bit of an ass. I like it.
I think Scarface might be the best example where, like, you know, Tony Soprano takes over from that other guy, but then he kills that other guy, so it's kind of not the best example. But
I think you mean Montana, not Soprano. But...
Tony Montana, yeah, that's it. Anyway,
that would have been a different movie.
So this meant to intimidate Miles and get him to sort of like walk away from the whole operation. But Miles, he's determined. He's not going to give up this easy, and we'll come back to him. Back in Russia, this is them trying to figure out how they're going to bring the asteroid to Earth. It's got a bunch of numbers.
There's a problem on like the 7th line. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like obviously.
I'm just kidding. I have no idea.
I know, that's basically just scribbles to me. But if anyone can follow any of that, let us know.
Yeah, put it in the comments what this means, because
is that
I'm now curious.
Is that Aleida's hands or is that Margo's?
It's meant to be Aleida's, equations.
It's Aleida's because there's a wedding ring.
Oh, right. And Margo only can draw a circle.
Yeah, Margo can only draw circles that say moon, right? So it's a whole different thing.
Yeah, there isn't a single circle there that says moon.
Yeah, so it's a conversation continuing here with Eli, Aleida, and Irina, but again, Margo's in Irina's ear and can hear everything she's hearing, and she's telling her things because Irina. The thing about this whole conversation too is Aleida's the only one who knows what she's doing. Like, I don't even know why Eli is the head of NASA, because he doesn't know anything about like the technology. And he's not.
You don't have to be an engineer to be the head of NASA.
It would help. It would help. Like, and
will it though? Like,
yeah,
you have engineers for a reason.
He has no. Well, then he should have one with him in this meeting because
absolutely, I agree with that 100%.
His like the idea here is that these are supposed to be the top 3 people of their particular programs, and it feels like Irina and Eli are completely out of their leagues. Like, Irina is only able to talk about some things because Margo's feeding it into her ear.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, and it would. I think Eli.
I'm more interested in the fact that it appears that Eli knows about the Russian stuff with somebody, because he acknowledges the fact that Aleida needs to stop, right? Because she starts going off on her.
Oh yeah, Aleida starts yelling.
Yeah. But Eli's like, I think we're on the wrong page. Right?
Where she's like, you mean how you stole our engine design and you stole these other things from us, and
it didn't even faze him when she said that. So I think he knows.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't think this. Oh, he knows. It's. I think it is known that.
Is it known now? Okay,
I think so, because there was this whole FBI investigation, especially after Margo was dead, like on paper dead. I feel like there would have been less effort to cover up any of her involvement in that stuff. Post mortem. The fact that like the U.S. government doesn't know Margo is here is kind of incredible. Probably, maybe improbable.
I just don't think
they don't know that the Russians have her, but but that's the story. Anyway, so Aleida then tones it down a little bit on throwing shade at Irina, and this is where Irina get via Margo saying like there's the DART program, the dual asteroid something thing.
Basically, evasion technology.
How are you gonna bring like the asteroid to Earth? And there was a few different ways, and as Irina's bringing up certain thing. Oh, what about this? And she's like, oh, you stole that too. How did you get all that intelligence? And Margo's like, it was publicly published. Like, come on. Like some of this would be known. Irina just doesn't know because Irina isn't as loaded.
She doesn't know anything she's talking about.
She's a KGB operative. Like she's a completely different, but she happens to be running Roscosmos now, right? So anyway, this is frustrating Margo because she can't fully say and do what she needs to here. She doesn't have true agency. She only is, functioning as an advisor.
Well, and she figures that out, especially when she says something for Irina to say, and she just ignores her. She's like, "Nope, I'm not saying that."
But the most important thing about trying to bring an asteroid into Earth orbit is that you could destroy Earth. I think that being a key safety consideration. So, and you're basically adding another moon to Earth in the process, right?
Yeah, but think of the profit, Dave. Who cares?
Well, there's the profit, but like, what does that do to the tides, and what does that do to our ecosystem? I guess these things are secondary to money.
Well, I don't think the asteroid has a gravitational pull.
Of course, it does.
Why would it?
It's everything does.
It's a moon, and it's got mass.
It's not a moon. It's an asteroid.
It would become one once it the two moons of Mars were former asteroids.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Okay.
So it would be a small moon. It would be but it would have an effect on our a whole bunch of things, right? So
I think it depends on where they put it. They were really talking about putting it near the moon, so I guess the moon.
You might be able to put it in orbit of the moon. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's a few things here. Anyway,
I don't think anybody's thinking about what that's going to do to the tides and things like that yet.
Yeah,
I don't think they care. I think
all this needs to be thought through, before you do. But they're like, no, time's of the essence. Time's of the essence. We have to get this thing tomorrow.
They thought stuff through. People wouldn't die by cable.
All about is the return on investment. Who cares?
ROI, the three biggest words in business. Come on.
Let's go. Get it there.
Yeah, that's what could matter more.
Well, and if you actually do the math, the ROI isn't that great because they're asking for all the nations to put in a total combined amount of what, 2 trillion? Mm-hmm. And they're only going to get, what did they say, 10 trillion?
22 trillion.
22 trillion. So when you divide that up by 5, you're roughly at 4 each.
Well, it'd be I guess the 7 nations.
Yeah.
Right.
But when you also introduce that much stuff into the economy, it's gonna do some damage. The price will go down on that substance because
like the North Korean, I don't know what 1/7 of 2 trillion is, but I don't think North Korea can afford it. But maybe I'm wrong. But
we don't know in this timeline, right?
So maybe not.
Who knows?
Anyway, so this is where they're starting. Like Irina says, we need to work the problem, and then Aleida goes, okay, but then Irina goes, nah, I don't actually know anything about what I'm doing here, so let's go have a dinner. And Eli's like, I'm sold. Yes, let's get to dinner.
He just wants to get out of this situation.
He's not like addicted to the science, addicted to the thing. Like
no,
Dev
he's
was
there to represent his agency, and that's it.
Like Dev, even though he's like this rich guy, whatever, he's kind of more like them in a sense, like Aleida and Margo, in that he's addicted to solving problems and the math and the whatever, and just the sheer science of it all. So anyway, they're going to dinner because Irina's out of her depth and she needs to regroup with Margo, which Aleida is now obsessed with. Margo's frustrated with it, and that is kind of the end of that scene. Back to Ed. So with Ed, now waking up hungover.
This is amazing. Super hungover
from all that moonshine he was drinking with Ilya all night. Although he bounces back faster than I do, I gotta tell you. He immediately lights the joint at his feet. Wake and bake. Respect.
Might as well.
Yeah,
he's got nothing else to do.
I like how he says, "Don't mind if I do, Admiral Baldwin," and then he just lights it up. Yeah. Like there was kind of a fun moment. But then somebody's at the door. He's like, "No," and he and then I was remembering that Ed was like definitely like anti-weed, like all the time. Karen was smoking it with Wayne and all that, and now he's still got some issues there. But Palmer,
it's medicinal, Dave. It's medicinal.
It's medicinal, of course, prescription. So Palmer has shown up with all this paperwork to give to Ed because even though Ed has been removed as XO, he's still technically the project manager of some of these operations. So he needs to sign.
He's project manager of the base.
Of the base, yeah.
So he can still sign off on wages and stuff.
But not that. confusing as to why this would be, but okay.
You'd think they'd strip him of all power, but
yeah, but no, they left this in here. So he's like, hey, you still got this. And he wants them to sign off on all these bonuses and everything else. And which, and he's just like, nope.
I love his facial expressions during the scene, though.
He really got over this hangover fast. I got to tell you.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, thanks, Palmer. And he takes all the paperwork and he just slams the door on Palmer.
Guy's like, I need this signed right now. And he's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, bye. And then Ed's like, he's cooking up, he's scheming, he's a schemer. He's got his next plot
pot
going here.
stirrer, Dave.
He's like, I am an old pot stirrer, that I am, but
I can relate.
Which pot does he want to stir? So Ed's cooking up a scheme here, nothing good probably. And then back at the conference, this is where it's Margo talking to Irina, and they're watching Aleida and Eli on the cameras here, trying to figure out, like, if we don't figure out this problem now, there's like a time sensitivity here. It basically has to be figured out tonight. We have to solve this engineering problem. How do we bring that asteroid to Earth? All these other considerations aside, I
want to know why, when they discovered this asteroid, that wasn't their first idea. Because it makes so much more sense to move the resource, if you have the ability to move the resource to the processing than vice versa. So it makes no sense. I don't know.
I think because sometimes you go down one paradigm and it was, let's get it to Mars. We're already there.
Yeah. Which I guess it's closer to Mars at this point. So.
But they have to get that ore back, and there's all kinds of things, and it takes a month at best to get.
But I don't think there's a company on this planet that would run the numbers and go, you know what? It's going to be way more expensive. Let's do it there.
The other thing they also
You know
mentioned
what I mean?
about if they bring the asteroid to Earth, that it's not just the M7 nations that get it. It would be every nation on Earth.
Everybody
if they can get a spaceship up there and land on it and start up, like, they would be entitled to, right? Yeah. So there's also that,
because they mentioned in one of the news things that some of the other countries that aren't part of this are also like.
Well, we saw China was there, but like China's not one of the M7 nations. I'm like, like we saw their limo.
When you think about it, if they get it to the Earth orbit somewhere, doesn't matter how close. Whoever's got it can control it. Now you can defend it easy. And, Jody, to your point earlier, you can control the amount that comes down on Earth. Like, so you want to keep prices
you can regulate the resource.
Well, it's just kind of like on the moon. Technically, the moon
they can do anyway.
The moon doesn't belong to any one country, but in practice, like the United States and Russia kind of control the moon, at least that region of the moon at the South Pole where like Shackleton is and everything. So
but again, if you're putting the resources behind something to go get it and the money to go mine it, essentially, it is yours.
Yeah, it's all yours at that point.
Like Gold Rush kind of like whoever.
Well, I mean, I think more of like anything, but anything where they control like the output into the market, like diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't put it.
If you start saturating the market with this rare mineral,
I think the show is working off this idea of like this, like it's not like the rules on Earth, right? Where the Outer Space Treaty says that nothing in the cosmos belongs to any one country, even if you get there first.
They haven't found anything with worth yet.
Well, they found helium-3 on the moon.
Yeah, you know what will change that? $2 billion.
Trillion.
20.
20. Yeah, sorry, 20 trillion.
That's 1,000 billions.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Anyway,
That'll change any government's mind.
So Margo says, you need to let me meet up with Aleida, and she's like, absolutely. Irina says no to this. She's like, if you expose yourself, then we have to allow you to be a public figure. We have to show you defecting. You're going to be the most hated woman in America, person in America. Can you? And Margo says, I thought about that. I don't care. I'm all about. I don't care what people think of me. I want to run this, but I also want to be the head of the asteroid program for the Russian side. And she goes, oh, there she is. That's what you really want. This the power. You want the power and the title and everything else. And she goes, no.
She looked at her like Darth Vader looked at the Emperor.
His game recognizes game here. Is that what you're thinking?
Recognizes game for sure.
In terms of the power hunger, perhaps. But Irina and Margo, I would say, are different in some very significant ways. But
one's willing to kill the other one.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think the whole point is we're seeing how they actually aren't that different, and Margo is getting to this. Right.
Well, they have power. They like power. I think that is a commonality. Yes. Anyway, so but basically by the end of this, like she's like, I have to go to Aleida and I have to work this out, and she convinces Irina that this is the only way. So it's like, this is how it's going to work. You're just going to like walk up to Aleida's hotel room.
Not only that, but she also enters it.
Yeah, she enters it. Like you're like, okay, here's the plan. You're just gonna walk in and say, "Hi, hey, Aleida."
Like this woman's been in Russia long enough to know that you wouldn't do that.
Yeah. The other thing that had been set up in the earlier
problem.
conversation was that Aleida's hotel room, her bathroom is down the hall. It's not in her room.
Yes,
so
which they convenently mentioned.
Yeah,
which makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
We all knew she was going to come in. Like,
Eli got the nice hotel room. Aleida less so. Anyway, but she doesn't represent the government. So when Margo knocks on the door just opens here because I guess Aleida didn't fully shut it. It looks like more like an apartment, honestly, than it does like a hotel room.
yeah, I'm sitting here as they're showing this, and I'm like, "Fuck! If I got a hotel like this wouldn't be half bad."
Yeah,
except for the bathroom thing. I think
we see all of Aleida's papers all over the room. Aleida's not present at this time because she's in the shower or whatever. And Margo sees where Aleida's left on with her pencil and paper there. And as she's looking at it, this is when Aleida comes in with the towel over her head in the bathrobe. And she goes, "Who are you?" She thinks is this some Russian spy to intimidate me or somebody else? But no, it's Margo. And this is, so of course, again, Aleida has thought for these last 8 years that Margo's dead. But nope. So, the shock, the amazement, and I think that, her performance is very strong here. Whereas Margo Renschmidt, she does a good job too, but she's not learning anything in this. There's no great epiphany here. She's like, everything here is, she's more coming at it. Right. So there's this moment where she's like, "You're alive," and the shock, this disbelief here from Aleida. And then, we don't know what Aleida's going to say first once she kind of, processes it. And then she grabs her and hugs her and starts crying. Can't believe she's alive. So
I was really disappointed that she didn't hit her.
Well, that's coming. So
throw out the window, Jody.
No, she doesn't have to throw her out of the window.
Throw Mama from the train? Is that what you're saying?
But, no, just a quick slap in the face and then a hug, maybe.
A slap, then a hug. But it's this real emotional outcry.
Yeah, it's emotional for Aleida. Margo
doesn't give a shit.
Margo is so emotional. Well, a little bit there, but she's
she's just enjoying the warmth. That's all.
First person to hug her in 8 years, maybe
ever,
maybe. Yeah.
I don't think Margo's had too much physical attention to her.
Remember, she wanted one man to kiss her once, and that didn't go so well. So.
Yeah, he ended up going back to Russia.
Well, he ended up. It turned out the KGB were there and everything else. Anyway, so
I found that scene very moving the first time I saw it, and again the second time. The performances were excellent, and that truly was not the reaction I expected from Aleida. But it felt so real and so natural. I thought that was a really excellent scene, especially for something that we've been waiting so long for. And it wasn't just a disappointment like the Danny reveal was, I feel like they really took the time and gave this the attention it deserved.
Yeah, absolutely.
Heather, you're right. The other part of this, which I did like, was Margo's reaction when she heard all this. Like I wish I was in that office when it blew up.
Right.
I think that was interesting to me too.
Yeah, I think that was just lip service, though.
And I think a lot, I don't think
she believes that.
In the very first episode of the show, Aleida's mother passes away, right? And so I think Margo being the surrogate mother who has now come back,
but she's not a surrogate mother. She doesn't do anything motherly at all, other than maybe tell her off once in a while.
But Aleida does seem to have that strange relationship toward her, but not
right. I don't know if Margo thinks of her as a daughter, but I think that
but she's certainly a maternal figure too.
A maternal figure, yeah.
I think she's a maternal figure.
Mentor, mother, all of those feelings kind of mixed together,
Right. Yeah. So I feel like when she hugs Margo, it's almost like, what if my mother came back from the dead, right? And how anybody I've lost in my life, were suddenly in front of you, which is what she believed, right? Because she had no reason to believe Margo was alive whatsoever. She thought she died in that explosion. Anyway, we'll come back to this. We got to check in with Miles, who's working his Donnie Brasco schemes. He's got to get his enforcers here. He goes to see Lee in the North Korean unit, who he says, sorry, man, I've been cut out of the black market. And then he's like, oh, by the way, Ilya's never going to bring your wife here. Ilya, he was just stringing you along to get your business.
When he started saying this, I'm like, oh my God, he's turning into a badass. This is great.
Right. Like this is Jeff's right. Like this is like the scene that was kind of like Oz, where like there was a character in that show called O'Reilly. He was like the Irish schemer guy. And he was always working angles like this where he would manipulate one group to get mad at another group. And then all of a sudden, like he could control like the chaos beneath it. Very, very reminiscent of that for me too.
To get a power, some right, sort of control over a certain part of the prison or whatever, and that's what's going on here.
Yeah. And you could see that, like, I'm also kind of with you, Adam, that I don't like Miles as a person, but I think he's got a different kind of intelligence. Like he's got like is demonstrated here. He's able to work people sort of extent, but he's mostly driven by greed, which is not admirable.
That's what most of this show is turned into, though.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of the people.
I know. A lot of it's about the business, the ROI of it all. Anyway, Lee's pissed off. But and we just see Miles he's going to work. He's going to redirect that rage in a way that's beneficial to him. So a little later on, we see this Healy's guy that roughed up Miles earlier in the episode. He gets a little visit from the North Korean friends of Miles. It's almost ludicrous, but it's fun. And they beat the hell out of him, Luca Brazzi, if you will, in retaliation. We don't get to see all that. We get like sort of we're gonna come back to that, but he's gonna get roughed up. There's a lot of money to be made here in the black market on Mars. Don't want you watching it. Anyway, back to Margo and Aleida. Margo, this is where now Aleida has calmed down and Aleida wants answers, where Margo explains why she did what she did, how she ended up leaving JSC that day, everything else. And why like she could have gone to prison. Like, and she's like, I could have gone to Leavenworth for the rest of my life, but that didn't seem to suit me. So I chose to go with the
it didn't seem to suit me.
Yeah, I was like, so I'll go defect to the Soviet Union. She talks about flying through Mexico and much other places. Aleida is mostly just listening to this. But then Aleida like eventually does let it out, where she's like, all the trauma of that day. Now,
this was great acting, by the way.
Now, the bombing at JSC, that was not the fault of the Russians, and that was not the fault of Margo. That was completely unrelated. But the idea,
Jimmy.
So at the beginning of this, like this tirade that Aleida sends at Margo, I was like, what? Why are you so mad at Aleida about the explosion? But then her speech kind of culminates in like, we all died or some of us died at our posts. Some of us were injured. Like she talks about Bill, their mutual friend Bill, who was paralyzed in that explosion after he was pulled out of all the rubble. Her secretary, her assistant there, who died in the office. So Margo should have died with the rest of them. And Margo goes, I wish I had, but I didn't.
Which I don't buy for 1 second.
Yeah. Well,
I think she's just saying that to calm her down.
I think she genuinely feels remorse for the bad things that happened.
Yeah. Like
her action.
I also think that she doesn't like, they're two different things, and they really are.
They are.
What are two different things?
The bombing and
the defection.
What she did.
Yeah.
No, what she did, like what?
Giving all the plans.
And the bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this, I guess it's a kind of like a survivor's guilt, something. I don't know. Because Margo kind of survived in the sense that she left the building shortly before the bomb, and so if she had stayed a little longer, she would have died too. Presumably, like if the bombing was kind of a random thing, it could have happened the day before, but it didn't. So
Werner von Braun had stayed in Nazi Germany a little longer. It wouldn't have gone well for him either.
No, they would have.
There's a lot of like just parallels with Margo's.
Right. Character. I guess back to the Werner thing, because Werner was one of the.
Werner would have gone to the Soviet Union. End of story.
Right.
Well, yeah, if he was in Margo's shoes, right? But like in after
no. If America didn't take him, he would have gone to the Soviet Union. Like a lot of them
went to the Soviet.
Yeah, but you remember that the Germans tried to kill all of those scientists at the end of the war, right? If given the chance, and really a lot of those scientists ended up on the Russian side or on the American side because it was kind of
the
like
Canadian side.
Or wherever, like not Germany, who was like willing to kill all these scientists just so that their enemies wouldn't get their secrets.
Or they could have went to Argentina.
And some did, right?
Yeah, and some did.
A lot did, I think.
Supposedly Hitler.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is where she gets her to agree? Or is this where she's just telling her about the, like, you know, you should have died too? I think there's like a third part of this conversation that we're coming back to. Or maybe it is. Maybe.
Yeah, she just wants to get on to the thing. Okay, let's solve the problem.
Oh, let's solve the problem, Aleida. And Aleida's like, you want me to work with you?
You
and
can
she's
hate
like,
me, but
you can hate me, but we have to solve this. And basically, because it's going to have this tremendous impact on history, you can't let this go. I can't let this go. We need to do this. And you know, the one part where Aleida says, "You don't know me anymore. You don't get to tell me who I am or what I am." Or
would it be amazing if this show ended with them losing a wire hits the asteroid and then the asteroid goes and blows up Earth? See, that's one
scenario. Yeah, sure.
Everybody's going to be so mad if that's the ending.
I hope they play Aerosmith for the ending as well. I think that
maybe not.
We bring in Gerard Butler and they go to Greenland.
Yeah, there you go.
What movie's that?
Greenland.
Oh, Greenland.
Okay. Anyway, so Aleida has to think about it here, but she eventually does accept Margo's appeal. Like, work with me. Let's solve the problem. Let's do this. And Aleida just kind of, you know, as mad as she is at Margo, she gives in and says, "Fine, let's start working." And then they start going in equations, and that's the end of that scene, basically. That they're going to do it.
How do we bring it through pretty quickly? But that was like a 10-minute, 15-minute scene.
It was a long scene. It was a very powerful,
very long scene.
Yeah, but it was good. Anyway, so then back at Mars, we see the buddy who got beat up by those North Koreans. He's getting patched up here.
That's not what happened. A filter came out.
The hydraulic press malfunctioned, and he ended up being beat up,
cut him
by
on the
fists,
side, and
everything else. What happened to him? Broken arm, bruised ribs, and a collapsed lung. Like, unless a hydraulic press landed on you, like in a very specific way, I don't think.
Or you landed in it.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, the doctor here.
Like, they all know it's bullshit, but.
This is Russian speak. These kind of accidents happen. We're working too many hours. Accident. This is not an accident, doctor. He says. Oh, but he says it is. He says it's a hydraulic lifter malfunction.
And Petros would know.
Yeah. As like why this doctor goes along with this, I don't quite understand. But other than he's Russian, I don't know.
I think the Russian part is probably the big part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ilya goes, okay, yeah, we got to keep our mouth shut. I guess that's the right move to make here. And then he meets up with Miles in the bar. I'm
surprised he wasn't like doing lines of coke before he walked in. Like, this is amazing. I love this.
Yeah, this is the Scarface scene. I'm taking over your operation. And
you're gonna do nothing.
He's like, why are you doing this to me? Because you sent a man to put hands on my throat, and then the North Korean enforcers are here. He's got his little thing. And he's like, don't worry, I know how important this bar is to you. You're always welcome in here. Doesn't even like offer to let him keep running the bar specifically. He's like, I brought you in. I brought you into this whole operation. And he's like, yeah,
you tried to get me fucking killed, dude.
I'm very grateful about that, but no more. So,
and you had one big guy. I got like 4 North Korean dudes.
Yeah, and they beat up your guy.
Yeah.
So,
but now he's got to make good on his promise to bring the wife up.
Yes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Which he did promise Lee. By the way, he's like, I can get her here. Not Ilya. He never intended to. Now we know that Ilya never intended to. How Miles is going to pull this off? No clue. But he's
because the North Koreans are going to control the shipping.
And I hope he does pull it off for Kevin's sake. Remember, Kevin was wishing for it
Yeah.
last week that they'd actually get the wife on board and we'd see how they did it.
That would be cool.
Well, it might happen.
Well, yeah. The 3-month journey in the crate.
Yeah.
After you get them her out of North Korea, which is not easy, by the way. But anyway. So Ilya, he's like, oh no, I've lost my whole operation. Yeah. See you later, buddy. Closes the door. And that is the end of that. Is this the final scene? Or, I don't know. This is the union scene. Yeah. This is where Massey, she's talking to all the workers. They're screwing us over. They're cutting our pay. We need to unionize. We need to organize. But she's getting a lot of pushback from some of the workers for various concerns and risk averse types. But they're not completely disagreeing with her. Like, they're listening to her. Workers of Mars unite. And then who's at the door? He's an old pot stirrer, that Ed Baldwin.
Pot stirrer indeed.
And he's she tries to kick him out, but he's like, I'm here to tell you you're right. And he's basically working with them because he's got nothing better to do, Ed. So he's like, I'm the project manager. They just told me, and I got all these papers. They're going to screw you over your pay. It used to be like if you got to 500 points, then you would get your first bonus. Now it's 5,000 points, and how they're completely.
Bonus is no longer 10,000. It's now.
So here's the problem here. Ed is now screwing all his bonuses and all this stuff. Like, there's no way. He's management.
Do you know who's also a principal partner in Helios? Kelly,
his daughter.
So it's kind of crazy to me that but also Kelly and Aleida, they are overseeing, and Dev, they're overseeing all these like screwing over the workers' bonuses and pay structures.
And since when does Ed Baldwin care about what his kids are doing?
True.
Fair enough.
Only when he can beat them up around it. Yeah.
All I can say is thank God they don't have any bikes on this station.
Well, maybe he'll teach
his kid's gonna be dead.
The kid's coming. Maybe they have a bicycle for him here. Anyway, he shows them the proof with the paperwork that they're going to screw them over. Which remember, Ed had nothing but disdain for these workers because they were only here for money, not for scientific exploration or whatever. So,
but now he has nothing to do.
And Ed is a man that runs off spite.
Yes, definitely. And he's here to get
Personally,
back.
I like that method, but
he wants to get back at Danielle for their last argument and everything else. And and he's coming along here. So everyone's like, they're realizing that they're going to get double screwed. And he's like, and then he's like, they're like, what should we do, Ed? He's like, listen to Massey. She's great. He doesn't even know her like at all. A little bit from that one.
He spent like a day down in there in lower decks, and now he's like a friend of everybody.
Yeah. He's like, I'm one of the people now. I'm a man of the people.
There's that crazy guy who smokes the ganja.
Yeah, he's my weed dealer. Anyway. So they're all coming around here, and basically, he says the strike is called. Everyone gets angry, and they're going on the strike. The workers unite. Massey is probably the first leader of the union, and Ed is. What's Ed up to? What's his end game here? What does Ed really want other than chaos? And that is like pretty much the end.
Not a good relationship with his kids, that's for sure.
That's true. Anyway, we pull away from Happy Valley. That is the end of the episode. And then, there's one more.
The
scene.
end is when she does her
press conference.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because we see her on this version of the news. Margo Madison with her file photo from the 90s.
I just want to punch her.
This is when she's called Madison again too.
What's that?
She's called Madison again.
Yeah, they called her Madison again. Yeah,
instead of Reynolds, which has been her pseudonym all these years. So she's given her press conference about how she was dissatisfied with the United States government and NASA and what it began in the 60s and what it became, and only driven on profit, which is kind of true.
She liked it when it was run by the Nazi guy.
Yeah.
To be fair, she didn't like it because she helped push him out. Right. But when she found out about his past, or at least more details on his past.
But look at the guys flanking
the guy on the right definitely has a braided leather belt.
Look at those ties. Those are some bad ties.
Yeah.
even for-
Like the one on the right, he's got a bit of a match going on there, so it's not too terrible. But the guy on the left, what the hell were you thinking?
I think they're meant to be like KGB
They're
types.
KGB for sure.
Oh, of course, they're
Yeah.
KGB, but
So to give this
I think
feeling
the
of
girl is too. The blonde.
that Margo is not saying this because she wants to, but because she quote has to. So she's defective, but like she doesn't have to do this. Like she chose to do this.
Mhm.
Anyway, so if you wanted to work with Aleida, you had to do this. Was kind of the condition. So she made that deal, and she is. And we see over on Mars who's watching her, but Danielle, who also thought she's been dead for the last 8 years. Seeing her old colleague on the screen and thinking about how this is going to change everything. And
She's like, she's been dead for 8 years, and she's still screwing me.
Yeah, where's the Queen of Darkness, as Molly Cobb would say. And that is sort of Aleida. Aleida's watching her on the news. That's the final shot of the episode.
Yes,
Well,
and then she just turns it off as she's like mid-speech.
She's packing up her stuff, and then she just turns it off and says, "See you never, Margo." And
she's like,
so did they solve the problem through the night, or
yeah, I think the idea is they did.
Well, I guess we know in the next episode if they did.
Yeah, they got through it. Anyway, you want to tell us about that McKenna book?
I do, but before I get there, you're talking about Hobson, Administrator Hobson. Who's Administrator Hobson?
That's Daniel Stern.
Daniel
Eli.
Stern.
Oh, he's got a last name. Okay.
Yeah.
We call him Eli. Okay. He says that the 40 years ago, the Vietnam War was on the news every night. However, as in the series, it wasn't on every night. It was just a mild little skirmish. It didn't happen.
That's right. Actually,
this timeline. So
his memory's fuzzy. He doesn't remember.
He's a time traveler.
I think maybe the writers are a little fuzzy on what this was. So
he was trying some of those mushrooms and things back then.
He's traveling with Wesley Crusher.
Draft dodger, maybe.
Right. Okay. But with that said, it's time for Fun Facts with Adam.
No, it's sexy fun facts with Adam.
Fun facts with Adam.
Sexy.
I'm trying to be sexy again, but I haven't found it.
You're finding it. You never
being in front of the camera is sexy enough for me, Adam.
Oh my gosh! Thank you. Make me blush, Jody.
I'm trying.
Okay. All right. So the movie. I'm sorry. The book, The Sand Pebble. Heather, you were absolutely right. And how we get here. The novel describes a life of boredom and sudden battle action, but the chief conflict is between the traditional Western ideas, which saw China in racist and imperialist terms, and an emerging nationalism. The protagonist, motor machinist mate first class Jake Holman, who's the boat's first assistant engineer, teaches his Chinese workers, who he refuses to call coolies, to master the ship's machinery by understanding it, not just monkey see, monkey do. The ship is sent to save the China Light mission from anti-foreign mobs setting off a debate. No man who favors the unequal treaties has the right to call himself a Christian. So definitely somebody who's trying to cause an uprising, but also believes in real equality. So
this seems awfully familiar.
Yeah. Well, it was actually a movie from 1966, which I want to check out now, actually. But it was actually set in 1920s. So
100 years ago.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the gist of the book.
Okay.
We need some more sexy fun facts.
Really? Okay.
Sex it up.
Give me more, Adam. I need more.
This show's a hard one, guys.
Talk dirty to me, Adam.
Yes. Give me them sexy fun facts.
All right, let's get into one.
Tell me more about the hard one.
Ooh, she stepped up the game. Now he won't talk because he's blushing too much.
So I'm not going to talk too much now because
he's blushing.
Let's talk about I am a little bit, guys. All right. Last week we talked about Ed Baldwin and Joel Kinnaman. Let's talk about Tyner Rushing, who plays Massey. So she comes from, she's a younger person, but really starred in recently Stranger Things and IT Welcome to Derry. Did anybody watch that? Welcome to Derry?
I have not.
Yeah, Jane's watching it, and I watched it a little bit here with her. It seems really good, actually. With the episodes I've caught pieces of, it's all shot in Hamilton, Toronto as well, but it's good.
So there you go. That's all I got, Dave.
That's all.
Okay.
That's all the sexiness.
You're gonna cut me off there. You're gonna ration my sexiness in such a way. Okay, fine.
I'll
life
do
says
better
the
next
same
week.
thing.
Yeah.
I
This
was
is like
driving
being
a
on
lot
Mars
today
with
Didn't have
limited food
time
for
to
18 months.
really get into it.
All right, fine. Well, we appreciate that.
I'm not satisfied, but that's fine.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
with that said, we should rate this episode, Leningrad, episode 6 of season 4, and put a score down. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. And who would like to go first? Jody would.
Oh, do I? Oh, okay.
I think so. Maybe.
I'm gonna give this. This is a hard one because there was some really good stuff in it, but it dragged. I gotta give it an 8.
Okay. Adam?
Jody, I would never have guessed you would have given it an 8.
Why?
Well, you seem to be down on it, but I'm also going to give it an 8, despite Miles.
Despite Miles, it could have been a 9 if it wasn't for Miles.
I do gravitate to the more evil characters, though.
I think all 3 plot lines of this episode really worked. And as I've mentioned before, like we usually have like this really low point in either episode 6 or 7 of any season, and this one wasn't that.
This is giving me a lot more.
We'll see how episode 7 does, but this one was fine for me. I think in particular the Margo and Aleida of it all was really strong. So I'll go. I'm an 8 as well. 8.2. Kevin's not here. Heather.
All right.
This is a 9 for me. I loved this episode. I loved all the plots. I loved the hired goons. I loved Aleida and Margo reunion. As much as I haven't liked Miles, he's greasy, but now he's owning it. So I'm really here for his heel turn. I loved it. Great episode for me.
Okay, thanks, Heather. And Jeff?
8.3.
8.3. The price is right. He's trying to outbid me without going over.
Whoever can get closest to Heather without going over wins.
Yeah. So we're averaging 8.3, which is reinforced by Jeff's 8.3 rating. This on IMDb has a 7.9. It's actually that is the highest rating on IMDb of any episode this season. So it seems like this so far has been the most liked episode.
Very harsh on this season according to your stats there.
You are averaging a 6.2 for the season. So yeah, right now you can use all the 8s you can get probably, Jody, just to keep this
it's not a conversation, Dave.
No, of course.
To reinforce what you were saying about episode 7, look at our score from last season, episode 7.
I know that was Bring It Down. That was a really low point. But then in season 2, we had episode 6, Best Laid Plans. We didn't like that one very much. And then if you go back to season 1, episode 7 was a 7.3. It wasn't like a low. It was just the lowest rating that season. So, but it wasn't like.
Look at everybody giving the finale of season 1 a 10, except for me.
Everyone's like 10, 10, 10, 10, 9.
Yeah. You guys were all so excited.
Have you given out any 10s ever? You did. You gave Into the Abyss, you gave a 10.
Oh, that was a great episode. I like
that. Was a good one.
But generally, you don't give out your 10s too easy. You gave it a 9.8 for
I don't get all flimsy with all my all my 10s.
Yeah.
I only give out a couple.
Get off your cloud and come back down to earth.
I think you guys
don't see any zeros there, Jody.
What's that?
Don't see any zeros.
No, I don't give out zeros normally.
Adam does. He'll give it a 0.
I gave that one a 4, though. I was still pretty close.
I gave it a 6.5. I thought it was fine. But
so did Jeff and I. Y'all are harsh.
Yeah, that was a moment. That was a transcendent moment there for Adam. He was having an existential crisis.
It wasn't good.
Yeah. So anyway,
I'm broke.
Yeah, like you got to go back and watch that podcast where he's like, "What are they doing on this show? I don't understand." It was
what's
just like
going on.
Yeah.
Well, the same thing happened at the beginning of this season.
Yeah, it just happened at a different point this season.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're looking ahead to
recovering. It's recovering right now. We're good. So
episode 7
good.
I'm not that excited yet. We're only one episode into something half decent here, so let's see what's going on.
Well, last week's was pretty good.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah. Would you rate it? What did you rate last week?
6.5 you gave last week.
Well, Jody,
Yeah, just because I'm right. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Anyway.
Sure. Anyway, looking ahead to next episode, maybe we'll love it. It's called Crossing the Line. Looks like it's.
Oh.
Do we have any little? I have a little synopsis here. So there's 7 days. They're already 7 days into a strike when this episode will kick off, and there might be some other things about Dev and NASA and all kinds of other things happening. So we'll look out for that in the next episode. I think Kelly and her son are going to arrive as well in the next episode. So.
I got that to look forward to.
Fuel Puster. Also, this week we are doing our Star Trek: The Next Generation review, not on Tuesday, but it will actually be on Thursday this week because of curling games and them never keeping the day the same. So we will be looking this Thursday at Star Trek: The Next Generation Season 3, Episode 14, A Matter of Perspective, one we just did recently on Star Trek Radio Theater not too long ago. So I'm looking forward to that one. It's one of my favorite season 3 episodes in a lot of ways. So I'm going to be talking to Kevin.
I think I'm on it now.
Jody and Becky. I think the panel changed a few times today, but I think that's what we settled on. Also on
fact there, that meme there, or sorry, the famous meme is from that episode. You had to
that one, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a part where they both do it too, though? I think they do, right? The double.
I don't think so. Not this episode.
Not this episode, but they do.
They've all done it, but in different episodes.
Anyway, also this week, this Wednesday, will be the finale of Survivor 49. We're going to be talking about that on Wednesday night late. The episode's called The Fever Dream. They are down to the final 6, and we'll be breaking all that down with Jason Phillips, Josh Foster, Becky, and Jaemeel Robinson. So look out for that over on Super Mario Brothers podcast. Jeff, they requested you send in some kind of video message to the podcast. Your namesake podcast, the Super Mario Brothers podcast.
Well, I haven't even watched it.
Well, you got 2 days, so you got to
get on that.
Send a video message that says, "Hi, everybody. I haven't watched the show.
I haven't watched it yet."
Yeah,
I don't know who any of these people are.
Yeah, I don't know who I'm going for, but
just send him a video with you saying, "You know what? I miss you all."
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Piss off.
I know you. I miss you, but I think you miss me more. I think that's the kind of video message we'll be looking for, Jeff. So
okay, all right, I'll keep that right over.
It's in the mail, Dave. Don't worry.
It's in the mail.
Yeah.
Might take a day or two.
Yeah, you'll get it. Don't worry.
Anyway, well, that's it for tonight then, I guess. We'll sign off, and we'll see you next time here on For All Mankind on Live Long and Podcast. Have a great night. Thanks to the whole panel, and take care.
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, did you see this one? And take a peek into the darkness with Heard Noise, Must Investigate with Michael Chan. Watch us duke it out on trivial debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mario Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.